Hey there, fellow Sercos enthusiasts. Today, we're gonna go on an exclusive backstage tour of Cirque du Soleil's mesmerizing show, Kurios, Cabinet of Curiosities, inside the Big Top in Montreal. Get ready to step into a world where the impossible becomes possible and imagination knows no bounds. Let's start with a bit of history. Kurios premiered in Montreal back in 2014, and it's been captivating audiences worldwide ever since. We have seen Kurios more than once, 5 times to be exact, in Boston, New York, and most recently in Montreal, where I get to tour backstage accompanied by Becky Williams. There she is. The show's unique aesthetics blends Victorian-era Industrial Revolution vibes with retro futuristic elements. It's like stepping into a mad scientist's laboratory crossed with a vintage circus. One of the things that makes Kurios so special is its use of scale. The show plays with size in mind-bending ways, featuring both miniature and oversized props and characters. This creates a surreal, Alice in Wonderland-like atmosphere that keeps the audience guessing. Now, let's talk about one of the most iconic elements of Kurios, the giant mechanical hand. This incredible piece of engineering is not just a prop. It's practically a character in its own right. Guess how much it weighs? It's 750 pounds. The mechanical hand is operated by a team of highly skilled technicians, and I get to meet one of them, Sophie. She even demonstrated for us how it works. What's really cool about the mechanical hand is how it interacts with the performers. During the show, you will see acrobats climbing on it, using it as a launching pad for their stunts, and even seeming to control it with their minds. It's a perfect blend of human skills and mechanical marvel. Kurios feature a cast of over 45 artists from around the world, each bringing their unique talents to the show. From contortionists to acrobats, jugglers to musicians, the diversity of skills on display is truly astounding. I had the chance to catch up with Ben, one of the Acronet acrobats, and I asked him when he stopped feeling scared going up so high from the Acronet, and he said, "I'm still a bit scared. But the fear is good and keeps these acrobats on their toes." And he loved when Kurios visited his home country, France, when his friends and family got to watch him perform in front of thousands of people. Now, let's peek into the costume department.
So this is our wardrobe department. It's a very busy department. We have 4 staff that are permanently on tour with the show. And then we hire 4 locally in every city that we go to help with the costume of maintenance, all of the laundry that we do. On 3 show days, we have, each artist has 2 costumes. And on a 3 show day, the first costume is worn in the first show, washed and dried in the second show, and then turned around and is ready to wear for the 3rd show. So it's an extremely busy department. We also have all of our wigs. We do have a hat, hair, wig, and makeup specialist on the show. So if an artist comes to tour, they'll be responsible for teaching them the step-by-step makeup if that's not been done at Montreal IHQ. And we also have a person that's in charge of all of our bigger kind of more prop costumes, also like these big microcosmos balls. When that was made, it took about 250 hours to make. So it's an exceptional level of work that goes into all of the costume making, and that's done directly at IHQ. It's like, Nico, the costume designer that made that spent 1 week sewing inside the costume with a head torch. So, wow. It's a huge level of detail.
I know. Most people can really imagine just the amount of work that goes into creating everything.
That's it. It does take a village. We have 120 people from 27 different nationalities.
Wow.
And ultimately, we're all here to try and put on the best show possible, whether that's an artist or a technician. But also we have a kitchen team, we have IT, we have plumbing, we have the front of house staffs who are the very first experience that the guests meet when they come into the world of Kurios. So we have food and beverage, merchandise, box office, VIP, concierge, all of our usher team as well. And then we have a site team. So the site team are responsible, along with technical, for the installation. The top of the tent where it says Cirque du Soleil, that's initially raised by motors, but then even after all of these years, it's still, the final push is done by hand.
And Becky, how long have you been with Circus, with Cirque du Soleil specifically?
I've been on this show now for about 2.5 years, but I worked with Cirque du Soleil as an outside agency in the UK for about 4.5 years. So I worked about 8 shows doing that, and then this is my 9th, but the first time on tour for me.
Oh, wow. That's a long time. Commitment.
Earlier, people think that some things are props just because of how big they are.
Oh, I love the
These fishtails, they're a lot of fun. I know that you love them from the Acronet. Just a really playful costume, but a costume. It's worn by an artist. So again, that's looked after by the specialist that we have that looks after all of the shoes and then all of the bigger costume items. Each one of these layers, like because the skirt falls, right? And it's done as a layer.
Yeah.
They're all screwed in individually, and each layer is held together by a wire. So every day during the intermission, wardrobe are checking every single one of these. The costume's safe. It's good to go on stage. So it's a lot of validations every day.
I know Big Top is not a brand new concept, but being here in Montreal, being in like Old Port, just this particular area, it's so special. There's something, I don't know, it's the vibe.
Yeah, I mean, Cirque du Soleil has a very special relationship with the Old Port. So it's my first time to spend any length of time in Montreal, and it's an amazing city.
Oh, the food,
especially in the summer. There's every corner that you take, there's something happening, like a circus festival, jazz festival.
Yeah.
I want to take a moment and reflect how a show like Kurios can transform you or someone you know. As for me, I realize that we're all human. So are these acrobats and artists. And they challenge themselves every day. And as a reminder for me to think about how I can challenge my own boundaries, question some of my own doubts, and give me strength to keep pushing forward. I guess most importantly is to know that I'm not alone. And you aren't either. Becky asked me about my favorite part of the show. Kurios remains to be my favorite from Cirque du Soleil. What's not to love? I'm going to end with a 30-second trailer of the show. Watch it or close your eyes and listen to the incredible music production. I'll see you next time.